Washington. We've got a great game tonight, Charlie. This could be the start of the biggest weekend in IPFW basketball history. Tonight, the Dons taking on Southern Indiana, #1 team in the GLVC. They pretty much have to win tonight and Saturday against Kentucky Wesleyan to have a chance to win the conference and get in the tournament.
You're exactly right, Randy. Last weekend, you expected a split from the Dons, but the split went the other way. Instead of beating the Lewis team, a weaker team, they beat the stronger St. Joe team down in Rensselaer. But again, this being, the biggest weekend in IPFW Mastodon history. Again, if you beat Southern Indiana here, then Saturday night a big game against Wesleyan, you're in the catbird seat, and that's all you can ask for, to be in control of your own destiny.
And Southern Indiana embarrassed IPFW down there last month. And also Southern Indiana, you look at their starting five, 4 of them shooting better than 40% from the three-point stripe. That's incredible.
In some cases, a similar style to IPFW, up and down, pressure defense, and shoot the three at any given opportunity. Again, you have an advocate and Mr. Tom Davis, Dr. Tom Davis of Iowa, Bruce Pearl here.
Okay, we'll be back in a couple of minutes to bring you all the highlights and all the action, so stay with us.
After dating the guy forever, you think I could tell him anything. Why is this so hard? I'm really scared.
It takes a lot of guts to tell someone he's too drunk to drive. But you can do it. Just say it. Because if you don't, there may be nothing left to say.
Kevin, I'm gonna drive.
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Welcome back to the Gate Sports Center, everyone. Randy Schiffner along with Charlie Washington getting ready to bring you IPFW taking on Southern Indiana. They're not just the Eagles, Charlie. They're the Screaming Eagles. We'll tell you who the starting lineups are right now. Charlie, you want to give us Southern Indiana?
Sure. Number 11, Tyrone Tate at one guard. At the other guard, Craig Martin. Number 12, the big fella, Chris Bowles. First team all-conference player last year. Number 32, Jeff Doyle. And that fifth starter eludes me right now. Todd Jones, a big 6'7" center.
Okay, and for the IPFW Mastodons, we've got the brothers Gibson up front, Sean and Shane. In fact, Sean Gibson just presented with the game ball. He became the all-time leading scorer in the last game. Andre Walton and Andy Liebert at guards, and Doug Reinke's the center. Right now, we'll take a break and hear our national anthem.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and broad stars we wash were so gallantly.
This is just one of the many parts you can play as a young Red Cross volunteer. Volunteer and play your part.
Talk about unusual. How often do you see transparent televisions?
Americans have more money to spend on leisure activities than ever before.
When possible, children should trick or treat during daylight hours and be accompanied by at least one adult.
A boat, archaeologists believe, is from the time Jesus and his disciples fished on the Galilee.
For best results, fertilize your lawn when it is actively growing.
Many people suffer from allergies. Few understand them.
Charlie, we talked already about how important this game is. Southern Indiana 8-1, leading the conference, while the Dons come in at 6-3. They are third in the conference. Hey, we'd like to remind you that this College Cable Access Sports presentation is underwritten in part by a grant from Cable Access Incorporated of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Last month, Southern Indiana, the Screaming Eagles, beat IPFW by 11 points, but game didn't seem that close from all we heard about it.
No, it wasn't. But this is a team, Randy, that the Dons have the confidence they can beat. You know, not so sure actually myself about how they feel about the Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers.
Right.
But I
18
know,
against them.
yes, but I know they have the confidence against this Screaming Eagle team from Southern Indiana. And sometimes this team comes in up and down, pretty unpredictable. They've traditionally been like that over the years. So I think the Dons feel pretty confident they can beat them in this building.
And least we forget, the Dons undefeated in the Don Dome in the 92-93 season. We're ready for the jump ball. Chris Bowles for the Screaming Eagles and Doug Reinke for IPFW. Boy, they were both a little excited. Missed it. Comes down. Bowles tapped it over. And it will be the Screaming Eagles with the ball first. That's Tyrone Tate. Inside Bowles, the big guy gets it to drop. Chris Bowles, the first of what I'm sure will be a few buckets for him tonight. And it's quickly Screaming Eagles on top, 2-zip.
And that might be about as far along as they get on the 45-second clock, Ray.
I was talking to Coach Piazza before the game. He told me the Bulls can shoot the ball from the three-point line on in, no problem. Very impressive for a big guy. Definitely up for the Player of the Year honors in the GLVC.
Shooting over 40% from out there, as are quite a few Screaming Eagles.
4 of the 5 starters. There's Shane Gibson. Boy, he's been in the three-pointer. He wanted the foul there, too, Charlie. You see him look at the ref. I got hammered. He was looking for the 4-point play. But a minute into the ball game, the Dons grab a 3-2 lead.
Shane shooting well above 50% the last few games from way out there.
Oh, great pass underneath. But Craig Martin blew the layup. Boy, he was so wide open, he was probably waiting to get hacked in the act. But he doesn't, and he just misses the bunny.
Definitely a missed assignment, though, that time on the Dons defense.
Dons, the defender, looking for some help, didn't get it. Liebert now for 3. He hits. The Dons coming out on fire. 6-2. You know, Tuesday night against Lewis, Charlie, I think Shane Gibson played one of his most confident games. He was stroking the 3. And he was a big reason the Dons set a school record, scoring 118 points. Tyrone Tate with the short jumper there cuts the Dons lead 6-4. We haven't even played 2 minutes. The excitement definitely in the air in the Don Dome tonight. Reinke back out to Liebert, fakes the 3 this time, moves in for the 15-footer, no good. Reinke can't control the rebound, but he tips it over to Liebert. Now Sean Gibson inside for the reverse layup. Dons up 8-4, 2 minutes into the ball game. Ball's down quickly against Reinke. Beautiful shot. Boy, Doug's got to turn his head and play some defense there. You have to be aware of where that ball is.
Exactly. That's the second missed assignment for the Dons on defense.
The Screaming Eagles with the press. The Dons not having too much trouble breaking it. Shane Gibson, front court to Andre Walton. Back to Sean way out top. But that's not a good sign, the defensive breakdowns early, Charlie.
No.
Shane into Sean. Out to Dre. Walton drives in, loses the handle. Out of bounds, they're going to say it's off Bowles. I tell you what, Bowles already in the first 2 minutes of this game has displayed great coordination for a big man. That shot he made over Reinke there was not an easy shot. He was on the run, fading away off the glass.
And that's no fluke. He's been a good player for the last few years for the Screaming Eagles.
I believe he was runner-up for Conference Player of the Year last season.
Yes, he was.
Andre Walton forces the steal. And Sean Gibson cashes in, picks up the garbage. Dons up by 4 again, 10-6. Reinke's going to get his first foul. Bowles with a nice move. He may have hooked Reinke a little, but that's a good move. You got to do that. Reinke was definitely out of position if he was trying to front him. He was sort of on the side, really.
That's a big test tonight for Reinke, playing against a quality post player. Probably the best post player he's played against thus far. Big Walton from Kentucky State got into foul trouble early, so he wasn't as effective as he probably would have been without the foul trouble.
Number 40, Todd Jones, is out for the Screaming Eagles, and 45, Duran Hebron comes in. Screaming Eagles a little patient this time. They got the big guy Bowles outside, but remember, He can shoot it from out there, as can virtually every one of the Screaming Eagles. Beautiful move, knifing down the lane, Tyrone Tate. Again, where was the defensive help there, Charlie? Where's the mix-up?
That was almost like the parting of the Red Sea.
Lieber, the other way. Downs doing a good job breaking the press and taking advantage of the 2-on-1. A lot of times, Charlie, we'll see teams break the press and then just pull up and settle into their offense. I think you have to do what the Downs just did, attack it and take advantage of the no defense that's set.
Exactly.
Oh, Lieber gets away with a big-time push there. Tate outside for an NBA three, perfect. Boy, we haven't even played 4 minutes, 12-11, the Dons up. This could be a score-a-thon tonight. I hope the lights don't burn out on the scoreboard.
Both teams advocates of the up-and-down style. Bruce Pearl, a disciple of Tom Davis.
Shane Gibson from 22 feet, no good.
Again, Bruce Pearl, a disciple of Dr. Tom Davis of Iowa.
Boy, and there's Tate hitting another short jumper. He's got 7 already. And the Screaming Eagles take the lead 13-12. I'll tell you, Andre Walton has met his match in quickness in Tyrone Tate. Hebron knocks that one out of bounds. Downs may have gotten a break there. Downs make a couple of substitutions. 23 Scott Simmons and number 21 Russ Marcinek are in. Andre Walton and Andy Lieber take a seat. We're going to see a lot of subbing tonight, I think, Charlie, because this is a frenetic pace. And number 23 is Sean Aldridge coming in for the Screaming Eagles. The Screaming Eagles also have a local player, Stu Sheets, who played at Belmont High School in Decatur. Maybe we'll see him a little later.
A lot of Division I transfers also, Randy.
Yeah, I believe Tyrone Tate played at Utah for a couple of years under Rick Majerus.
And a Ball State player.
And I don't know what kind of call we got here. This could be an offensive foul on Shane Gibson. That's what it is. First foul of the game. We went almost 5 minutes. Oh, well, no, Doug Reinke
did have one other.
I forgot about that. That's an automatic.
Coincidentally, he has not been disqualified this year.
Jumper no good by 23 Sean Aldridge with Bowles with the tip-in, but they may get him. They wave off the basket, and they're going to say he went over the back of Sean Gibson. Bowles looking for the foul on Gibson. There you see it again. I don't know if there's a foul there or not, Charlie. I don't know if we can see that one more time, but hard to tell. Looked like Bowles almost got clean above Gibson to make the tip.
Well, as good a player as Bowles is, you can't expect to get those calls on the road.
That's true. And Gibson, always good at hitting the floor and looking like he's really hurt.
Exactly, and the neutral. One All-American versus another All-American.
There's a replay on it. Yeah, Bowles got him. He got him with the body. Great inbound. Oh, a little too far. Sean Gibson had both Scott Simmons and his brother Shane wide open for the basket. He threw it about a foot too far.
Incomplete pass, had 2 receivers open.
That's right. And the refs almost made a mistake there, but helped out by the crowd because nobody touched it inbounds. The Screaming Eagles get to inbound it from right under the IPFW basket. They made the call. And they were right. The Screaming Eagles fan club. Bowles inbounds it. Gets it to Tate. Top to Aldridge. Bowles outside, fakes the 3. Moving in on Reinke. Might have gotten away with a little push there. Hebron underneath, tied up by Shane Gibson. Jump ball. The Dons get it on the alternating possession rule.
I'm not sure, Randy, that Reinke's used to playing a player like Bowles that can take it on the outside, as you see the replay, and drive and shoot.
Oh, bad
like
inbounds pass, and it's a steal. And also, Bowles is bigger. Well, he's taller than Reinke. I don't know if he weighs any more. They probably weigh about the same. But he's definitely quicker than Doug. Fouls on Scott Simmons, his first, team's third. Number 23, Sean Aldridge at the line, shooting a pair for the Screaming Eagles. So they say Bowles is 6'10", weighs 2 1/4. Doug Reinke weighing in also at 2 1/4, but 2 inches shorter. Andre Walton coming back in. Russ Marcinek goes out. First free throw, in case you turned your head, was good by Aldridge. Screaming Eagles lead it by 2, 14-12. We've played just about 5 minutes of the first half. Randy Schiffman and Charlie Washington, glad to be bringing you college basketball on College Cable Access Channel 6. And Chris Bowles goes out, Todd Jones comes in. This could be a shot for IPFW to take an advantage with the big guy on the bench, Charlie. That press starting to hurt the Dons a little now. But they did get it in rather easily that time. Sean Gibson with a good move running down the baseline to create a little space. It's usually the other way around, Charlie. We see the Dons hurting teams with the press. There's Shane Gibson, his second three of the night. That ties the game at 15. 3 3-pointers for the Dons already.
And that a missed assignment on Southern Indiana's part.
Yep.
Shane Gibson, definitely a qualified three-point shooter, wide open.
Looked like they went to a soft zone, a really soft zone. Now, I'm surprised the Dons have been having a little trouble with the press so far. Since they press so much, they practice against it all the time.
Exactly.
Tyrone Tate, too quick for his own good, gets called for the travel. Here comes Pat Murphy in the game for Doug Reinke. Pat just rejoining the team. His grandmother just passed away last weekend. He was up in Michigan for the funeral. Our condolences to the Murphy family. Also, in case you don't know, John Honstreiter out. He's got a bad ankle. He could be gone for the season.
Yeah, a severely sprained ankle.
John's had trouble all year with injuries. Had a bad hamstring, bad foot.
And they miss him up front.
Yeah, he definitely provides a good spark and some physical presence. There's Murphy with the 16-footer. Perfect. Murph puts the Dons up by 2, and Andre Walton with the steal on the inbounds pass. Dre knows not to go too much inside 1-on-3, though you never know. I've seen him venture in there before. He is a strong man. Dons up by 2, 17-15. Sean Gibson loses it out of bounds, but they'll say it was tapped out of bounds by number 45. Ron Hebron. Dons keep it. Still 30 on the shot clock. 2-point lead. Just over 6 minutes into the ball game. Gibson's got to get somebody. Oh, we got a holding foul. Number 42, Scott Taylor, his first, team second. Pretty clean game so far.
For some young players, what you just saw Pat Murphy do, you don't generally advise players to do that, come in right off the bench and take shots, but something very positive came out of it.
Right.
You usually want a player to get up and down 2 or 3 times, but Pat's hung in there and stuck that jump shot.
One thing, too, he was so wide open. If you don't take that shot when you're wide open, you'll start thinking about it the next time.
Exactly.
Tony Martin, who, boy, he was injury-plagued for a year and a half. He's been playing great the last couple of weeks, though. Seeing a lot more playing time. He comes in for Shane Gibson.
A great luxury for the Dons to have a senior.
Andre Walton inside. We told you he's not afraid to do that. Dons up 4. They're definitely taking advantage of the middle with Bowles out. And almost the steal. Oh, they give it to Southern Indiana. Boy, Tony Martin and Andre Walton almost teamed up for the good steal there.
As I was starting to state, a good luxury for the Dons to have a senior the caliber of a Tony Martin to come off the bench and give you that spark and that savvy coming off the bench.
And with Land Bullard out, he's one of those guys who can come in and play a lot of positions.
Exactly.
And he really helps the Dons in a lot of places. The ref's talking it over now to try to see who's ball it is. Either that or they're making plans for dinner later. You never know with these guys. Only 2 of the 3 refs discussing. They're trying to get Tyrone Tate to get his 2 cents and keep it in the bank. This gives Bowles time to check back into the ball game.
Tate very quick again, just about too quick for his own good. He and Andre Walton were in a race down the court.
That's going to be a great matchup all night. Now they give the ball to the Dons. Break for IPFW. I'll tell you what, Charlie. Screaming Eagles have one of the more impressive defenses I've seen all year early on. Even though the Dons have 19 points, Screaming Eagles have forced some turnovers with the press. They have so many points because they're getting a lot of shots and they've hit a lot of threes early on. But it's just hard for them to get the ball in bounds a lot of the time.
Again, the pressure defense reminiscent of course, the Iowa Hawkeyes.
That's right. I think we'll make more than a few references to that tonight. Andre Walton outside, got to be careful of that 5-second count. Hits Simmons, he tries a 3, just misses. Walton tips the rebound, can't control, and here comes Tate on the fast break. Dishes it off to Aldridge, no good, trying to get the foul. They're going to get Bowles for his second, going over the back, and that is not a happy camper. just about 7 minutes in, and the Screaming Eagles' best player is the Screaming Eagle right now because he's picked up 2 over-the-back fouls. And he's going to have to sit right back down. And you know, the only reason he was back in the game, Charlie, is because the ref couldn't decide whose ball it was. Big break for the Dons. Big, big break. Murph has to inbounds it. He gets it to Scott Simmons, who breaks the press. He's got Sean open underneath, doesn't pass to him, and he misses the 6-footer. The elbow's flying on Scott Taylor as he yanked down that rebound. There goes Tate again. Great drive, put it up with the left hand, draws the foul, I think, from Pat Murphy.
This is a young man who started for 2 years
at Utah, which is one of the better teams in Division I. I mean, you're talking one of the top 30 teams in the country. And he'll be at the line shooting too. Man, he is quick. I can't believe that he only averages 16 points a game. Misses that first free throw. Doug Reinke back in, and Sean Gibson will take a rest. Tate at the line for his second free throw attempt.
We have potentially easily three Division I players in their starting lineup alone. Of course, you have Tate from Utah, Jones from Ball State, and Bowles, as you see, could easily have played Division I basketball.
No question. 19-16, Dons by 3. Breaking the press, 2-on-1. Reinke, didn't want to go inside. Almost throw it away, but Simmons controls, gets it over the wall.
That time, Tony Martin committed himself too early to that pass to Reinke.
But, I don't know, I thought Reinke could have dished it back to him.
Yeah.
Martin for 3, that's going to be way short. Andre Walton with the rebound, just misses it. Ooh, they're going to call a foul on Tony Martin. I'll tell you what, that was almost a travel.
Exactly, yes.
Because Craig Martin, number 12 for the Screaming Eagles, almost dribbled it off his thigh.
You have two things in that last play that we just disputed about, Randy. Doug Reinke could have came to the basketball and made a better two-on-one situation out of it, and Tony Martin could have dribbled down one or two dribbles more and made the defender commit also.
Would it have helped maybe if Reinke had been spread out a little wider on the court, create a little more space? Great pass inside. Murphy faked off his feet. Layup missed. Second attempt knocked away by Tony Martin. He's doing a lot of little things already. Like you said, he's a senior and he knows what to do out there.
Little things that don't show up in the box score the next day, Randy.
Sort of like Clarence Rich did a lot for the Dons last year with the quick hands.
Exactly.
Andre Walton setting up the offense now. Murph outside tries the 3. Everyone's throwing up the 3 ball tonight. Now they're starting to miss it. Here comes Tyrone Tate. Boy, is he smooth. Craig Martin tries the 3, strong. And Tony Martin just can't control it. Simmons has it ripped away by Jeff Doyle. Tony Martin, another steal. He's got Andre Walton, but he could not control the ball. Well, he had Andre wide open for the layup, and I think he knew it.
Tony was just helping and recovering, and as he was recovering, he looked up, and the ball kind of fell into his hands. He was pretty much surprised by it all. But
he's
great
really
defense.
done a nice job on the defensive end since coming into the ballgame. Pearl barking out the signal. Or I guess we should say screaming it out because these are the Screaming Eagles. Not to be confused with the regular old everyday fly-by-night Eagles.
Ashland Eagles.
Yes. Inside, Craig Martin, beautiful move. Cuts the Dons lead to 1, 19-18. Murph better get it in. Tied up now, Tony Martin. That's going to be a turnover. The alternate possession. That press is causing all kind of problems for the Dons.
Again, what they do, they put a big fella on the basketball like Tom Davis used to do with Brad Lohaus and Les Jepson in the old days at Iowa, and it's working to perfection here so far tonight for the Screaming Eagles.
You know what we might see is when you have a guy come from inbounds and run out of bounds, and you have the out-of-bounds guy throw it to him, and that's a legal play.
We've seen Coach Piazza use that in the past, usually on last second, end of the game plays.
Right, that's what I was thinking, but you know, might mix it up a little during the game. Oh, late whistle. Late whistle. Andy Lieber with the steal. A referee who had no chance of seeing the play calls it from the top while he is blocked out by the body of the two players.
It certainly looked like a good steal that time by Andy Lieber. As we see the replay here.
It's coming up right here as you see him driving the lane. Looked like a pretty good strip there. And again, the referee, from our vantage point, we could see that ref at the top. There's no way he could have seen that play because the two bodies were blocking the ball. The Screaming Eagles having trouble getting it in, so they call it timeouts because they don't want to turn it over. See that replay one more time. You see it. And the referee who called it was up towards the half-court stripe. There's no way he can see that call, Charlie.
It's one of those anticipated calls.
Yeah.
Most of the time, if you're going to slap down on the ball, more times than not, you will get the foul call as opposed to slapping up.
We want to remind you that the College Cable Access Program Guide provides information about our programming, including IPFW sports telecasts. Now, if you want to receive a free Channel 6 program guide, send your name, address, and zip code to Channel 6 at IPFW, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana. The zip code is 46805. You can also give us a call, 481-6582. We'll be happy to take your name and address and get a programming guide out to you so you can enjoy all the great programming here on College Cable Access, Channel 6. Charlie, we're just over 9 minutes into the ball game. Dons lead it by 19-18. Right now, I think all the adrenaline rush has worn off. And now it's time to maybe settle down into a pattern, huh?
And yeah, the Dons have to get into a rhythm of handling this pressure and getting into a rhythm type of offense, particularly getting the ball into Sean Gibson. But one of the good things about the Dons basketball team as a whole, even if you don't really go to Gibson, he's going to get his points a lot of times filling lanes, getting offensive rebounds. So you really can't key on Gibson in the Dons offense.
You know, I just noticed what's missing tonight. The volleyball team. The guys from the volleyball team are usually out here cheering them on, but they're all in San Diego.
That's right. The fight caps are where they should be. Actually, a little further to the right. But
nice play by Lee. That time he got the steal. But, you know, usually we see Lloyd Ball and a lot of his buddies out here cheering on their friends, and the basketball players do the same. Great pass by Reinke into Sean. Good move throwing up the shot. He should get 2 free throws for that one. But those guys make a lot of noise over there. Get the crowd cooking.
Before the end of that play, Sean got the All-American no call on the push-off, as you just saw right there.
Yeah, but he was posting up a little guy, and he's going to get that every time. The foul was on Craig Martin, his first, team's fourth. Sean at the line shooting 2. Thanks to the Steve Alford technique he learned in the offseason, he hits one. I talked with Steve Alford about that, and he said that Sean came to him. He said, Sean, you're an All-American. You're going to get fouled a lot. You got to hit those free throws because that's going to be the difference between your team making the playoffs, maybe and not making the playoffs.
Exactly.
Sean, credit to Alford with making him a much better free throw shooter.
That same thing happened to a pro player in the NBA, the most frequent player to the free throw line, Karl Malone.
Yeah. Oh, he was about a 50% shooter his first year. Now he's about an 80% shooter.
Exactly.
And he's the premier power forward in the world, without question.
And the player that frequents the free throw line most often in the NBA.
Karl Malone has made more free throws than some teams
have even attempted, probably.
Gets to the line something like 13 times a game, which is that's an amazing statistic. As big and strong as he is. And Bowles back in now. He's got to be careful not to pick up that third foul. You can see he was not as aggressive on that move. Doesn't want to take a chance of picking up a charge. Let's see if the Dons go into Reinke, who Bowles is guarding one-on-one. Dons lead it by 3, just past the halfway mark of the first half. 21-18 is the score. Shane Gibson's hit a couple of threes already. This time he goes in for 2. Dons have their biggest lead of the game, 5-23-18.
Good move, good strong move that time by Shane Gibson, going baseline.
I think the defense was waiting for him to pull up and take the 3. By the way, number 20, Stu Sheets, out of Belmont High School, now in for the Screaming Eagles. He's got the ball against Andre Walton. And that's going to be a travel. Number 32, Jeff Doyle, picked up that pivot foot before he could get the ball down. And I thought for a second the Screaming Eagles were going to call off the press, and I was going to say why. Referee making number 40, Ty Jones, back up and give Shane Gibson a little breathing room.
Again, that big player on the ball out of bounds, making it hard for the inbound player to see anyone cutting to the basketball.
Jones is 6'7". And Shane Gibson about 6'5".
And that's usually not an issue, but in a game like this, where the Screaming Eagles will apply constant pressure, that issue will come up many times. How many feet? Those 3 feet inbounds.
Especially here. It's pretty tight on the sidelines in this arena. Sean Gibson inside over the little guy. Boy, I don't know why Craig Martin, who's 6'2", is guarding Sean Gibson the last couple of times down the court, but I don't think Andy Piazza minds. Dons now with a 7-point lead, 25-18. Bowles misses. This time they're going to get Reinke for going over the back. Boy, and Sean Gibson was there to help him on the defense. Reinke did not need to make that play. That's 2 on Reinke, 7 on the Dons, so that is over the limit, though this will be a 2-shotter anyways, but Screaming Eagles could be getting a lot of free throws the last 9 minutes of the first half. There you see Sean Gibson, boy, had great position right in front of Bowles, who misses the first free throw. And Reinke got him going over the back a little with the body.
That last situation that you brought up could come out of the rotation on the Screaming Eagles defense, and that could be where the smaller player gets caught up on Sean Gibson.
Bowles gets the second one to creep over the rim. Bowles goes out again. Pearl's got to be happy. Got about 3 minutes out of him. Didn't pick up another foul. Doug Reinke with 2 fouls sits down, and Pat Murphy, who did a nice job his first trip in, comes back. I notice how the Dons, after the made baskets, always have Sean Gibson inbounding it. Tall player, 6'8", a heady player, an experienced senior. A lot easier when you have a 6'8" guy throwing it in against the other big guys. Andre Walton didn't have the opening, so he takes it back out. Murphy's got it inside to Sean. Turn around, fade away, just can't get it to go. Doyle rips down the rebound. Shoots up to Aldridge. Outside, 3-point attempt is perfect by Todd Jones. That cuts the lead to 3, 25-22. Andy Lieber to Shane Gibson. Shane's got 8 points already. Sean inside with the drop step, gets hammered. Man, did he get hit that time.
And does what he does very often.
Hits the floor hard.
That 3-pointer last time, Randy, by number 40, as we see the replay of the foul
on Sheets, grabbed his arm.
Number 40, Todd Jones, hit the 3 and then hurried to the baseline to spearhead the pressure defense. Reminiscent again of Mr. Brad Lohaus.
That's right.
Big fella would hit that 3 and then spearhead that pressure defense many times.
Lohaus still hits that 3 in the NBA.
Exactly. For, I think, the Milwaukee Bucks now.
Correct, sir.
What's the Celtics for a few moments?
Yep. Boy, Sean looked like he rushed that free throw. So it just looked like he walked up there and threw it out.
Sean started the season at about an 80% clip. Now he's down to 70%, 10 percentage points down.
It's the second one, had that nice rip sound to it. Now the lead is 4, 26-22. We're right about the 8-minute mark of the first half. Dons by 4. Good quick ball game so far. Good, oh, almost a steal again. Sheets in the corner to Aldridge. He's going to be short on that left-handed jumper, but Bowles, who comes back in, misses a short one. Another miss, 2 taps missed. Aldridge gets it, 5 attempts. Eventually you're going to cash in.
And they were all over the offensive glass that time.
Big time. There's Murph inside, gets fouled by number 45, Ron Hebron. That will only be 6 on the Screaming Eagles, who now trail by 2, 26-24. So I don't think we're going to see any free throws there. Surprised we haven't seen Jeff Smithy out there today.
He's been a mystery all year, Randy, in terms of his playing time. And really, in no particular game that we've seen has he gotten really significant types of minutes that he got as a freshman and sophomore, actually.
Doesn't even have the warm-up off yet. Andre Walton sitting down Russ Marcinek in now. Don's lineup, you have Shane and Sean Gibson, Russ Marcinek, Tony Martin, and Pat Murphy. Martin with the ball to Marcinek. Murph, way up top. I don't think he'll shoot it from there. Sean Gibson might. Shane definitely will. His third three-pointer in the game. And he's starting to woof it up a little now. 29-24, Dons by 5. 7's been their biggest lead at 25-18. And we've got an offensive foul underneath, away from the ball. Foul's on number 45, Ron Hebron. His second, team 7th. And that is not a player control foul, so the Dons will shoot the 1-and-1. Tony Martin, I can tell you, shooting his free throw because he's been standing at the line since they made the call. Tony says, I want to get in the scoring count.
We were just alluding to Jeff Smithy's diminished role here with the Mastodons, but that's one of the key reasons why the Dons are such a great basketball team this year. Players like Smithy accepting the role, playing the minutes when they're there, and accepting not having the minutes when they aren't there.
Martin misses that free throw long. Well, Tyrone Tate's been quiet for a while. He hasn't been in for a couple minutes, but he's starting out like a ball of fire. He's cooled off just a bit. Good inside pass, Hebron. Might have gotten away with a jump step there. Give him the bucket, 29-26, Dons by 3. Tony Martin quickly up court to Pat Murphy, who slices the lane. Misses the short shot, but Martin there to get the rebound. And he bounced it off a screaming eagle. Ends up play by the senior.
And Hebron's a load down there, Randy. He's a big fella.
He is one large fella. 6'6", 240, Barkley-esque dimensions. Nice pass inside. Shane Gibson, though, couldn't get the shot off. Sort of forced the pass in there to Pat Murphy, and that's a turnover. There's Tony Martin with another steal. The man is everywhere. Three-point shot coming up here. No, inside to Pat Murphy to Martin, cutting the lane, 2 for Tony. Good give and go. Oldest play in the book. Exactly. The best play in the book.
Still works. And Martin playing very well.
There's going to be a trip on Tony. Got the foot out, Aldridge tripped over it. Good call. Aldridge will be at the line shooting a 1-and-1. 6:09 to go in the first half. Dons lead it by 5, 31-26. That was Tony Martin's first foul, 8 on the team. 2 more and everything will be at least a 2-shot foul. There you see the trip. Tony came out a little too much, maybe just wanted to take a step over and cut off baseline instead. Aldridge gets the first one to go, so he'll get another opportunity. Andre Walton coming back in, Russ Marcinek out. Scott Simmons is also in the lineup now. Tony Martin still in there along with Simmons, Andre Walton, Sean Gibson, and Pat Murphy. Shane Gibson took the seat. Aldridge misses the second, and the Dons control the rebound. Here comes Andre. Up to Gibson. Simmons not open for the 3. Dons taking a little time shooting tonight, Charlie. Working around, looking for those good shots.
And that's the worst thing a team like Southern Indiana wants to see.
Andre Walton with the turnaround. Can't get it to go. Pat Murphy almost runs it down, but he gets it to Walton. Hang in, misses it. Great move, but just couldn't get it to go. Scott Taylor wide open, puts the good move on Sean Gibson. And now it's a 2-point game, 31-29, Dons up. Ball kicked out of bounds by number 40, Todd Jones.
Andre Walton missed that shot, Randy, but that was an example of his great upper body strength. Went up, took a little bump, just a little bump, but still hung in the air and had enough strength to get the ball up off the glass. And it almost went in.
The only bad thing right now, Charlie, Dons lead it by 2, but Southern Indiana's been playing most of this last 5-6 minutes without their best player, Chris Bowles. Once again, the Dons throwing it off somebody out of bounds.
And that was because of a 4-on-1 defense right there. The 2 Southern Indiana players, then you had the 2 sidelines right there.
Sideline and the baseline. Dons are having all kind of trouble getting the ball in bounds. Wholesale substitutions now for Screaming Eagles. Number 50, Troy Tornada, excuse me. Andre Walton gets the ball in bounds from Simmons. Now the Dons can run some offense. Once they get it in bounds, the Dons are doing all right. It's just getting the darn thing in. And then Jeff Smithy makes his first appearance of the night. Dons with a very small lineup out there now. 3-guard offense basically with Smithy, Simmons, and Walton. And you've got Murphy and Sean Gibson up front. The Screaming Eagles are going small right now too. Walton inside, dishes to Murph. And he doesn't miss that layup. Dons up by 4, 33-29. The middle much more open with big number 30, Chris Bowles, on the bench.
He clogs up a lot of space down there in the middle.
For the Screaming Eagles, you have number 12, Craig Martin with the ball. 11 is Tyrone Tate. Number 50, Troy Tornata. Also out there, 42 is Scott Taylor. And here come the Dons on the fast break. Sean Gibson back to Scott Simmons. Great give and go. Dons up by 6, 35-29. Your fifth Screaming Eagle out there is number 40. That is Todd Jones. Tate driving the lane, gets fouled by Andre Walton, number 10.
And for the most part, Randy, the referees are letting a lot of contact go. These teams are bumping and grinding a lot down there, out front and down underneath in the paint, but the referees are letting them play.
That's exactly right. That's okay. Let the players decide the outcome. Tate at the line with the 1-on-1, gets the first one to go. Cuts the lead to 5, 35-30, 4:15 to go in half number 1. Dons playing well right now, leading it by 5. Tyrone Tate taking aim at another one. And he hits it. 4-point lead, 35-31. Murph into Walton. That's a bad spot to get it. That was a double dribble. And now they call a foul, and I think they got number 42, Scott Taylor. I swear Andre Walton double dribbled there because he bounced the ball, he picked it up, he stepped through, and he bounced it again.
He sure did. That's a big break for the Dons.
Southern Indiana's letting them, IPFW, get the ball in the corner because that's exactly where they want it. You got a little guy with the ball, you got 2 big guys on him, what's he going to do?
They're playing right now, they're playing right into the pressure, playing right into it, throwing the ball into the side where you have 4-on-1. And plus you have 3 other defenders.
Walton at the line with the 1-on-1.
For any viewers confused with the 4-on-1 plus 3 other players, the 2 sidelines act as defenders in that case.
That's right. Andre Walton way short on that free throw. Here comes Tyrone Tate. Screaming Eagles having a chance to cut it to 2, possibly 1 with a 3-pointer. Now they're going to get Jeff Smithy with the foul underneath. Pushing, who did he get? Number 12, I believe, Craig Martin. That'll be 10 team fouls on the Dons, so this is a 2-shot free throw. Remember that rule changed 3 seasons ago. 10 fouls, everything's 2 free throws except on a 3-point attempt, Charlie. Then you get 3 free throws. You are correct, Martin hits the first one, cuts the lead to 3.
But that rule institution did not do what it was designed to do initially, and that is speed up.
Yeah, they were hoping it would eliminate fouls at the end. Murphy with the long pass, threw it too high. Got lucky. Smithy pulled it down, gets to Simmons, gets the bucket and a foul. Boy, that was a break there. And look at the Screaming Eagle fans. They're screaming for a travel. When Murphy had him wide open, he's chuckling a little because he knows he threw the ball way too high. But boy, he caught a break today. Dons will take it, puts him back up by 4. And if Simmons hits the free throw, they'll be up 5.
That was almost the infield fly rule right there.
The ball almost hit the speakers in the PA system hanging from the ceiling. Simmons good on the free throw. Dons by 5. Almost a steal for Andre Walton.
Don's playing inspired defense right now.
But let's not forget, Chris Bowles has missed most of his first half with foul trouble. Wide open underneath. Number 50, Tornado. Cutting the lead back to 3. 38-35, 3.5 to go. Sean Gibson breaking the press by himself. Andre Walton calling the 0 play. Hope that doesn't mean they don't get points on it. Simmons fakes the 3, now pulls up from 15, in and out. And here comes Tate. Oh, bad pass. And he knows he had Jones spotted up for the 3. That's what I was going to say I'm surprised about. We were talking earlier about how good a 3-point shooting team this is, the Screaming Eagles. They've only taken 2 or 3 the whole game.
And that was an ill-advised pass. I think even though the player was wide open, I think Tate had an open lane to the basket.
And now the Screaming Eagles have taken off the pressure a little, which is also surprising, as effective as it's been. Nice pass inside. Pat Murphy with the layup. That was a great pass by Andre Walton. Dons by 5, 40-35.
Andre leading the league in assists, and I think 11th in the nation.
Not going to see a nicer one than that last one. Tate moving inside, misses, and Dre with the rebound. Quickly up to Sean Gibson. That's going to be 2. I'd give him an assist on that one, too. They may not, because Gibson may have, had 2 dribbles, but that looked like an assist in my book.
John Stockton gets those kind. If Stockton can get them, why can't Walton?
That's true, right? Now, the rule, too, is if the pass leads directly to a bucket, and that definitely did. Dons matching their biggest lead of the game now, 7 points, 42-35. Craig Martin dishes it off, no 3-second call. And Todd Jones gets the layup. Makes it a 5-point lead. We're under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Simmons to Murphy, outside to Smithy. Back into Murph, outside to Smithy, back to Murph. Murph spins, drop step, and puts it up. And they're going to call a foul. They're going to get Craig Martin. I thought for a minute they were going to get Murph with the foul. 2 on Martin, 10 on the team, so Pat Murphy will get 2 free throws. They made the bucket too, but they didn't count it. Tony Martin and Shane Gibson checked in for the last couple of minutes here. Sean Gibson sits down. So does Scott Simmons.
That small combination that was in the game for the Dons, the pretty much 3 smaller perimeter players with Murphy and Gibson in the front court, worked out very well for the Dons.
Murph gets the first free throw to go. He's having a really nice game off the bench, man. Number 23, Sean Aldridge coming in for the Screaming Eagles. 12, Craig Martin with 2 fouls, sits down. Still, just have to keep in mind that Chris Bowles, big guy for Southern Indiana, has missed at least half the first half because of foul trouble. Murph missed the second. Dons by 6, 43-37, minute and a half to go. Half number 1. Moving the ball around, Tate driving, spin, dribble, puts it up, no good. And Andre Walton can't control it, but I think number 40, Todd Jones, knocked it out of bounds. He did.
And Pearl being very careful with Bowles. To my recollection, I think he has 2 fouls.
2.
And most coaches will play that on the 3rd foul. Then they get pretty touchy with the substitution.
You don't want to see your best player get 3 in the first half. You really don't. If you can help it. And right now, I mean, it's a 6-point ball game. They're not out of it by any means. So he's got to feel pretty good to be this close with Bowles on the bench. Sean Gibson already checked back in.
And outside of this last spurt by the Dons, they would be closer.
That's right. Under a minute to go in the first half. Shane Gibson inside to Murphy with the jump hook. In and out. Oh. Well, that wasn't a 360. It was about a 270 around the rim.
That ball did everything but fall.
And now it looks like the Screaming Eagles are going to play for 1 shot. About a 6-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. So Southern Indiana could use just about the rest of it. Dons keeping the pressure on, though. Tate gets the ball, avoids the traffic. Down to 15 on the shot clock. Time to start running the offense. Down to 10. Tate drives in. Not going to go past Murphy. Wide open underneath number 45, Ron Hebron. With the bucket. 8 seconds. Got to get the ball in. Come on, guys. 5 seconds. Shane for 3 are no good. And that's how the first half's going to end. Dons lead it by 4, 43-39. Good first half, Charlie, don't you think?
And Ellen, if you're a Screaming Eagle fan, you got to be happy with your star player on the bench, and you're only down 4. What more could you ask for? On the other hand, the Dons, a pretty solid half of basketball. You got the second half to look forward to.
43-39 the score. Again, IPFW needs this game badly. They are 3rd in the conference at 6-3. The Screaming Eagles leading it at 8-1. Charlie, you got any unofficial Charlie Maddox stats?
Leading the Dons in scoring with 3 3-pointers. 11 points for Shane Gibson, 2, 4, 6, 8, 11 for Mr. Sean Gibson, 7 off the bench for Pat Murphy. Great
Very
half.
nice.
Yeah, and Tony Martin, who didn't show, it won't show in the scoring column, 2 points, but did a lot of things, got his hands on a lot of balls.
Had
played
at
some
least
pretty good
3
defense.
steals.
Yes, played great defense.
How about for the Screaming Eagle?
Tyrone Tate, the transfer out of Utah, with 10 points. Did I add that right?
I don't think so.
11.
That's right. But before you do any more of those stats, Charlie, I got to tell you this. We'll be right back for more GLVC basketball after these brief messages.
Die Welt verändert sich sehr schnell.
Изменения здесь достигнут весь мир.
世界が変わるんなら我々もそれに合わせていろんな方法を考えなくてはいけません。
De plus en plus, nous deviendrons tous partie d'une communauté internationale.
El mundo tendrá una oportunidad para formar parte de este cambio.
If there is a common language in the world today, that language would be change. Sometimes evident, sometimes hidden, it is nonetheless constant. And when viewed through the eyes of the world, this change can be wide, sweeping, immediate, and profound. Yet when viewed through a different set of eyes, through the eyes of a child, this change can be personal and at times bewildering. Consider a child from another land whose family has come to Indiana, brought by an international company or organization to America's heartland. For this child, a changing world is felt at a personal level, a level of new language, atmosphere, customs, and new friends. There are more and more children like this one throughout the communities of Indiana. And part of the promise of the years ahead is that there will be many more. The coming international era, it has been called an era in which local economies, institutions, and industries around the world merge and interrelate to an extent far greater than ever before. It will be an era when Indiana's place in the world may depend upon the ability to remain open to the world around us and adjust our ways of thinking and acting. Recently, a group of citizens from around the state, representing many walks of life, came together to form the International Issues Task Force. A group formed with the purpose of determining and enhancing Indiana's ability to thrive in an increasingly international environment and prepare recommendations for the future. In part, the task force considered issues related to the Indiana business community, but their scope extended much further. Because at the heart of all changes are people. And closest to people are basic human issues. Issues that directly affect our ability to work and participate in an increasingly international atmosphere. With this in mind, the task force identified 4 primary areas of investigation. An international school, international service organizations and communications, international transportation, and international education. Each topic was studied by a separate committee, with ongoing staff support and administration provided by the Indiana Humanities Council. The intent of each committee was to determine how to best prepare the people of Indiana to become more valuable and productive citizens of the world community. The International School Committee investigated the feasibility of establishing an international school in Indiana. A school which would serve the needs of Indiana children by creating the opportunity to learn in a unique, world-class educational environment. A school which would also serve the needs of the children of foreign business people, students, educators, researchers, and other visitors to Indiana. As the business of many Indiana companies becomes increasingly global, the need for an international school becomes ever greater. Because at the center of the needs of any family is the education of the children. Another task force committee investigated the statewide delivery of international services and information. Indiana is home to many different international service organizations. Yet a study commissioned by the Lilly Endowment revealed a need for these organizations to work more closely together. The task force committee investigated the needs of international employees and their families, foreign students, researchers, and the professional spouses of international executives to determine if services were readily available to international families. For example, foreign families often need special assistance in adapting to their new environment, obtaining driving licenses, learning where and how to meet American friends as well as other foreigners, and generally learning about a new culture. The committee also investigated ways to raise the consciousness of the people of Indiana by providing opportunities for exposure to international cultures through these service organizations. The committee then explored ways to best coordinate, fund, and deliver these needed services to international families as well as Indiana citizens. Central to Indiana's ability to be a vital part of a changing world is transportation. And a task force committee was formed to investigate the possibilities for increasing direct air transportation from Indianapolis International Airport to overseas cities and markets. Many Indiana companies, as well as international business people and visitors living in Indiana, currently need direct air service overseas. The committee not only studied this issue, it developed a strategy for pursuing greater levels of service. International transportation, an important way to more directly link Indiana with the world. The mission of the first three committees was investigating ways to make Indiana even more hospitable to foreign visitors, executives, employees, and families. The fourth committee investigated ways of preparing the youth of Indiana for the international era by studying the present educational system. The committee evaluated the teaching of world geography and culture, world history, foreign literature, and foreign language in an effort to assure that Indiana students are provided with the knowledge and the skills to succeed in the international era. In many ways, the intent of the task force has been to provide a cornerstone from which the state can begin to build and prepare for the future. A future that is rapidly approaching for businesses, for organizations, for families, and for all of us. It is up to us to shape our place in the international era by learning the language of the world, the language of change. The International Issues Task Force has provided an important first step for the people of Indiana, a step toward becoming citizens of the world and making countrymen of all humankind.
The tragedy of child abuse takes many forms, from verbal assaults to hurtful blows. But it is preventable, and we all have a role to play. If you know of a parent having difficulty, reach out. Sit down and talk. And if you're having difficulty, get help for yourself. Talk to a friend. Sign up for a parenting class. Take time out. Don't take it out on your child.
Contact the National Committee for Prevention of Child Abuse.
I want to be a doctor, a judge, electrical engineer, a chemist, a dentist.
The American dream is alive, nurtured in part by the United Negro College Fund. The fund reaches out to deserving students with a quality education, an education that turns wonderful young dreams into realities.
I want to be president.
And you'll be tough to beat.
Please, support the United Negro College Fund.
What comes to your mind when you think about statistics? Polls, gambling, maybe baseball. Sure, but how about lightning, lobsters, music, chocolate cake, sex discrimination, heart attacks, potato chips, traffic, the ozone layer, Shakespeare, monkeys, dancing, drug testing? If some of these things didn't make your list, then you should be watching Public Television's new statistics series, Against All Odds.
Wake up, all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say.
The power of teaching.
World won't get no better if we're just
The power to wake up young minds. The power to wake up the world. Teachers have that power. Reach for the power. Teach. I'm Edward James Olmos, and we're recruiting new teachers. Call 1-800-45-TEACH.
Welcome back to the Gates Sports Center, everyone. Randy Shipman and Charlie Washington just about at the second half of the game tonight between IPFW and the Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles. The Dons leading it by 4 at halftime. And Charlie, I know the Charlie Stat-O-Matic computer works pretty well, but now we have the official stats.
We have official stats now.
Fill us in. Who did what?
Okay, Tyrone Tate had 12 points for the Screaming Eagles of Southern Indiana. Nobody else in double figures. The closest two people, Todd Jones and Chris Bowles, 5 points apiece. Big key there. 2 fouls early on Bowles. He should be more active early in the second half. Expect bigger things out of him.
Bowles only played 8 minutes. I want to remind you that this College Cable Access Sports presentation is underwritten in part by a grant from Cable Access Incorporated of Fort Wayne, Indiana. For the Dons, it's the Gibson brothers leading the way again, right? I think they had 11 each.
The brothers Gibson with 11 points apiece. And Pat Murphy strong off the bench with 2 points. And as we alluded to...
2 points? He had more than 2, Pat.
7, I'm sorry. I was getting a little bit ahead of myself. Pat Murphy, 7 points off the bench. Tony Martin, 2 points off the bench, but played a very, very strong floor game, particularly on the defensive end with at least 3 steals in that first half. And actually, how many steals do they have Martin down for?
You know, one of the weird stats I see here, the Dons only had 13 rebounds in the first half. 13, that just doesn't seem like many, does it, for a whole half?
No, well, they shot particularly well, actually, so that in part caused the shortage on the rebounds. But another stat that jumps out, Randy, is the assist to turnover ratio. 1-to-1 for the Screaming Eagles, 7 turnovers, 7 assists.
Right.
That's not going to win you too many basketball games.
You want to be at least 2-to-1.
Exactly. And here you go with the Dons. Turnovers, 5, 13 assists.
No, I thought the Dons had more than 5 turnovers, to be honest with you. I'm surprised. That's another one that sort of jumps out. There we see the halftime stats put on by our terrific crew here at College Cable Access Channel 6. But the press of the Screaming Eagles has caused a lot of problems, don't you think?
Yeah, and what they're doing, they're funneling the ball right into the corner, which is exactly what they want teams to do, pass the ball into the corner where they can have that 4-on-1. The 2 defensive the sidelines plus the 2 defensive players. And that, of course, you get in the corners, you can't see, and the closest angle that you have is the cross-court pass, which is a very long angle. It makes it very difficult for a player to pass.
And I think we should mention it again about Southern Indiana's coach, Bruce Pearl, who was one of the top assistants at Iowa under Dr. Tom Davis. There you see the halftime stats. Both teams shooting well over 50%. 3-pointers, Don's 2 more 3-pointers, and that makes a big difference because they have a 4-point lead. And free throws, neither of them shooting great.
And that's about par for the course. The Dons shooting about 62%, which is something they have to improve upon especially to get deep into postseason play, and particularly to get into postseason play.
First, yeah, they got to get into postseason play. Exactly. As we said, coming into this game, the Dons think that they have to win. If they don't win either tonight or Saturday, forget it. They're not going to get in. And a lot of the players and coaches will tell you, too, that they've got to win both these games, not just either or.
The loss to Lewis hurt. A big win at St. Joe, but that loss to Lewis, something that the Dons don't characteristically do. They usually win the games that they are supposed to win.
That was shocking because St. Joe, a place where the Dons traditionally have trouble, lost there last year and a last-second shot. If not, they would have made the tournament last year.
And that's all you can ask for. If we win, we're in. If we lose, we're not. If you ask for that, you can't ask for much more.
That's right. Dons right now with the ball to start the second half, leading by 4, 43-39. Shane Gibson just short on the three-pointer, and Bowles back in the ball game with the rebound. Charlie, I think they're going to go to him early, like you said.
Very important that he gets off to a strong start. Not only him, but the Screaming Eagles in particular. But Bowles has not lost confidence, but he probably wants to get a lot of points in a hurry.
Reinke was fronting him, and it didn't work. Bowles makes the bucket and turns to the ref and cries for the foul. And I'll tell you what, the ref's giving him a look, and he does call the technical. I was about to say, if he doesn't shut his mouth the next time down, he's going to get a T, and the ref didn't wait that long. And now he goes, what did I do? We can read his lips from here. What did I do? And if I remember correctly, don't technical fouls count as personal fouls now?
I'm not sure. That's a rule I'm not
sure.
Or
they count as team fouls, maybe.
Yeah, they do tabulate on the team foul side.
Okay. And there you go. Look, Southern Indiana gets a couple of points to cut it to 2, but now here's Shane Gibson to get those points right back. So there's a basket that you might not even have made. I mean, like, what's the difference? Well, they get a point advantage out of it. Shane missed the second one. And that's by 3, 44-41.
That's a quick shift in momentum. The Screaming Eagles may have, with the quick bucket, may have gotten the momentum going their way, but they turn around and get a technical foul in the early stages of this second half.
And Bowles may have had a point. It looked like he may have been fouled, but, you know, say something to the ref, and then just shut up. You know, don't be screaming at him all the way down court, because they do have the whistles, and they win all the time. IPFW with the same 5 who started the game. Great move by Sean Gibson. Pass to Reinke. Doug's first bucket of the game. We got Sean and Shane Gibson up front with Doug Reinke, Andre Walton, and Andy Liebert at the guards. And I believe we've got the same 5 who started for Southern Indiana as well. Bowles in the middle, along with number 32. That would be Mr. Doyle, I believe. Jeff Doyle. 40 is Todd Jones. And Martin and Tate, 11 and 12 at the guards. Reinke that time knocks it away. Bowles maybe thinking he's fouled again, but he doesn't say anything this time, you notice.
At least he's smart enough to learn.
Dons by 5, 46-41. We've played a minute and a half of half number 2. Inside to Tate. Low against Andre Walton's going to be short on that one, and rebound bounces over to Andre Walton. 1 on 3. You think he'll take him on? No, he hits Liebert. Inside to Reinke. Reinke back out to Liebert. Back into Reinke. The hook shot. Not even close, but look at Andre Walton. Pick it off and lay it in. I don't think that's an assist. Reinke, I'll tell you later, that was a pass.
Sure he will.
Dons matching their biggest lead of the game, 7 points. Boy, Tate, after that great start, hasn't done much. I say that. He gets wide open underneath, but he can't get the handle. Here's Bowles. Short on the shot. Martin will grab the rebound for the Screaming Eagles. Ref still hearing the earful from Bowles about getting held and pushed by Doug Reinke. Reinke doing a pretty good defensive job right now, and this time they're going to get Reinke on the foul. We haven't even played 2.5 minutes in the second half, and Reinke's tired. Look at him tugging on his shorts, Charlie.
Well, Bowles moving pretty good without the basketball, and that's causing Doug, a player not used to moving around that much. He's used to fighting for position down on the low post, but not used to chasing the player around like he's having to do tonight with Bowles.
And Pat Murphy checking in. I think Reinke's going to take a seat. 3 fouls on Reinke. Scott Simmons also in for Andy Lieber. Lob it into Bowles. Guarded by Murphy. Murphy fronts him, but Bowles gets by. Short jumper. No good, but the foul's going to be on Shane Gibson.
And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out what Southern Indiana's game plan is in the second half, Randy.
They're going bowling with Chris Bowles. That is 2 fouls now on the Dons this half, and also 2 on Shane Gibson. You see a foul here. Good help. Not much of a foul. Got him a little with the body. First free throw is good by Bowles. That gives him 8 points.
This is something that could backfire, though. In their efforts to get Bowles into the game, the rest of their offense could suffer. And particularly, it seems Tate's offense has suffered.
Dons handle the press much better that time. Here comes Sean Gibson using the rim, and knowing Bowles doesn't want to pick up foul number 3 early in the second half. That was the best the Dons have handled the press all night. They lead it by 7 again, 50-43. 3 minutes into half number 2. Inside, Bowles has it taken away by Andre Walton. They call it jump ball. Boy, that was a quick whistle. There again, Andre Walton, unless you see him up close, you have no idea how strong he is. He's got some pistons for arms, I'll tell you that.
And he just wrestled a 6'10" player for the ball and got a jump ball.
He just ripped the ball away from him. Tate, nice pass inside to Bowles. That was a very nice play. And all of a sudden, he's up to 11 points. He's got more points in the first 3.5 minutes of half number 2 than he did in the first half. No foul called on Scott Taylor. He was pushing a little on Scott Simmons. The Dons running their offense a little more patiently tonight too, Charlie, and I think that's by design.
Sure it is. This team wants an up-and-down basketball game, and what you do to teams, great pass.
Sean Gibson to Murphy, you can't hit it, but there's Andre Walton with another rebound and bucket. Leading candidate right now for the oh-so-prestigious standing-down player of the game. Did we get that Waterford Crystal Trophy made up yet, by the way?
We're working on it.
We'll have to ask Greg Schmitz, our producer, about that.
What we were about to say, Randy, before that great pass by Gibson, what you have here is the Dons wanting to slow the tempo, control the tempo against the faster-paced Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles, and what they're doing is deliberately taking more time off the clock, and again, hoping that there'll be a breakdown in that pressure defense by the Screaming Eagles.
Pat Murphy just picked up his 3rd personal foul, and with no John Hodstrider around, that's trouble. Only 10 fouls to give in the center position instead of the customary 15. Reinke's got 3 as well. He's on the bench right now.
And when Honstrad is 5, that's usually some hard fouls.
Yeah. He gets about 8 out of his 5. And we mean that in the most positive way, though. When he fouls you, you remember, boy, you just can't front Bowles. You can't do it. He's too tall. They lob the ball. They create space. And he's got 13 all of a sudden. And it's a 5-point lead. Shane Gibson misses a 3. Scott Simmons almost had the rebound. Andre Walton throws it away. And here comes Tate. Drives the lane. Nice dish. Scott Taylor. And now it's a 3-point game. Screaming Eagles took advantage of that. Andre Walton, Sean Gibson, nowhere to go. Back out to Simmons. Gibson in the corner. Fakes the 3 on Bowles. Drives inside. Puts it up. Gets fouled. And that's 3 on Bowles, and he could get a second technical if he's not careful. He pleads his case to every referee. And I'm surprised. I noticed on the scoreboard, Charlie, they did not put up the technical foul as a team foul for Southern Indiana.
No, they didn't. And that was something that I'm glad we enlightened our viewers on. That is not a charge as a personal foul.
That's why we're making the big bucks. That is the 3rd foul on Bowles. We say it's a second team foul. Maybe we should alert the press table about that and the referees. Sean Gibson shooting two, hits the first one. It's IPFW up by 4. That was the lead at the half. We've played 5 minutes and 2 seconds of half number 2. And IPFW has expanded the lead by a single point. And now Bowles. Oh, who's coming out here? I thought Bowles was. No, they're taking out 40 Ty Jones.
And the Mastodons showing.
Bowles still complaining. You ever see him going to ref? I still can't believe you called him. I didn't touch him. I slipped.
Dons with a little token pressure.
Yeah. Tate breaks it, puts it up with the left hand. Boy, that's how they draw it up. Dons are handling the pressure much better this half. Simmons from the free throw line, good. Dons by 5 again, 56-51. We're getting back to that frenetic pace. Both these teams score about 90 a game, so this is not unexpected. Taylor driving in. They're going to call the foul on Tony Martin. You knew they were going to call that, one of your anticipation fouls. Also, the refs are calling a little tighter this half.
Yes, they are. Something not to dote on with the play of the opposing player's team, but Tate done exactly what you're supposed to do as a point guard. You drive to the basket until someone picks you up, and no one picked him up, and he went in with the left hand for an easy layup.
And he used the left hand very well. Second foul on Tony Martin. 4 on the Dons already this half. Now they're going to call Pat Murphy with his 4th when it looked like he knocked it out of bounds. And this is trouble.
That's one of those plays that coaches would rather referees let that go. If the offensive or defensive player, in whatever case, does not gain an unfair advantage, and in this case the ball just helplessly went out of bounds, coaches feel there should not be a foul in most cases.
Sort of like a play on in soccer. There's Bowles again. I think he's got 15 now. I think that's 10 points already in this half.
You are correct.
No, you don't want to awaken the Giants with him. Doug Reinke inside, misses the layup. Dons by 3, 56-53, 13:40 to go. Bowles up top now. Still surprisingly how few three-point shots the Screaming Eagles have taken.
Reinke on that last time, Randy, didn't really recognize that he had Bowles to contend with the 3 fouls.
Right. Inside, no good. Rebound number 45, Ron Hebron. We've got a foul.
On Hebron.
Yep. Cleared out a little space. That's why he got that rebound. I still think that should be their 3rd team foul instead of the 2nd. That's 3 on Hebron. Number 40, Todd Jones checking in for Hebron.
Randy, the Screaming Eagles have an unidentified player that we saw get hurt. And I don't know how much. Yeah, I don't know how much playing time he would have received, but he's
sitting on the end of the bench.
He is hurt from that pregame mishap.
Well, let's see if we.
Great drive.
Bucket. We can spot a couple of. I think it might be George Kasi, 6'3". Guy looked about 6'3". The only other guy I can see who hasn't played is Tornsetti, who's a 6-footer. Bowles hits again. 17 for Bowles. He's got 12 points in the first 7 minutes of this half. And he is keeping the Screaming Eagles in this game single-handedly. 58-55, Dons by 3. Underneath, great pass, Tony Martin. From Andre Walton. Dons by 5, 60-55.
Great pass, and that's not the easiest pass to catch.
No. Here's Bowles again. From the same spot, he finally misses. Simmons with the rebound. Dons have the numbers here, but it's tipped away. Andre Walton comes up with it. He drives right in. Nobody picks him up. Andre Walton, great move. Dons by 7. And it's a timeout for the Screaming Eagles, but right now it's the IPFW fans who are really screaming as the Dons take the lead 62-55 with 12:25 to go in the second half.
Again, it's good to see the Dons do what we want so we can explain it to some younger players and some of our viewers. Again, a point guard drives to the basket and keeps going until he stops.
And we'll talk about that more when we come back.
Jobs. It's top priority with many Hoosiers today. Good jobs with good futures. That's what Ivy Tech in Fort Wayne specializes in, training good people for good jobs. The skilled jobs Indiana's future needs.
Ivy Tech, what Indiana needs to grow. Call for enrollment information.
Randy Schiffman and Charlie Washington back with you at the Don Dome, and boy, the dome is being raised right now. The roof almost getting blown off. The fans very excited about the Dons leading Southern Indiana 62-55 with 12:25 to go. Dons trying to hand Southern Indiana just its second loss in conference play. The Screaming Eagles lead the GLVC at 8-1. The Dons are third at 6-3, so this is a huge game. Dons win this one, they're just a game out of first, Charlie.
Exactly. There are 5 teams right there. You have Kentucky State sitting at 6-3 right now. The Dons, Kentucky Wesleyan.
Kentucky Wesleyan is what, 7-2?
Yes.
The Dons play them on Saturday, 0-18 in the school history against Kentucky Wesleyan. And you also have Indianapolis at 5-4, St. Joe's at 6-3. Almost 6 teams have a chance. Though at 5-4, it's going to be hard to get back in it. You've got to climb over a lot of teams in a short amount of time. Under 20 on the shot clock now. 3-point attempt is no good. And a foul underneath on number 32. That would be Jeff Doyle, and I think he could be picking up a tee. Ooh, they blow the whistle. Getting a little heated out there all of a sudden. Here's the call. They called him for, you see him. He pushed Tony Martin right out of the way.
And Tony Martin showing some senior composure.
We could call that SS senior savvy.
A composure.
Reinke, oh boy, that was not a good pass. But that could have been an over and back. And now that's got, I can't believe they called that a block. That's got to be a charge there on Tyrone Tate.
And Tate and Walton have a few words right there.
And now Gibson asking the official, why isn't it over and back? I think they're going to say Tate did not have possession of the ball, that he only touched it. 16 fouls now on the Dons. Third on Andre Walton. The Dons getting in some serious foul trouble here, Charlie. If Southern Indiana can hit free throws, that could be the difference in this game. Tate driving in, misses the layup, and there's Simmons to get the rebound. 2-on-1 with Sean Gibson with the dunk. Hung on the rim for a little extra added pizzazz there, and he's lucky he didn't get a tee. Don's biggest lead of the game, it's 9, 64-55.
The emphatic dunk, legs flying, arms going everywhere. That's how you have to do it, Randy.
That's the one the refs have to let go, because if you call that one, you're ruining the game. That could be a travel. It is a travel. Good call. Bowles can't believe it.
That's a travel.
Walton stepped right in front of him. He's not afraid of those big guys.
That's a travel that turns out to be a break for Southern Indiana, because that could have easily also been a charge against Bowles.
Yep. Sean Gibson. Now, I'm glad the refs don't call that little hanging on the rim, because that's what the crowd wants to see. It adds some excitement to the game.
And at all levels of the game where players are commonly dunked to basketball, it's catching on. In the past, that would have been technical foul, but in college basketball,
it used to be anytime you hung on the rim, it was a tee. Then they decided if you hang on the rim to avoid an injury or being hit, whatever, then it's okay. But you know who really makes it popular, who the biggest hanger on the rim is in the pros? Sir Charles Barkley.
The Shaq hangs a little bit.
Shaq hangs a little too, but quickly, because otherwise they wouldn't have rims. But Charles Barkley is a master at it. Shane Gibson in the game for Tony Martin. 3 for Simmons, no good. Reinke misses the tip, tries again, can't get it to go. Sean Gibson out to Walton. Come on, let's eat up some clock here, guys. Good time to use it up a little. Inside to Reinke. He's got it. Downs by 11. 66-55, under 11 to go in the game. Walton could have picked up his fourth there, almost slapped Tate across the chest. Double screen for Tate, tries the three. That's the kind that can quiet the crowd down if you hit it, but Tate doesn't.
Another big rebound, that time by Ranky.
Yep. Doug, after being very quiet in the first half, having a great second half, playing good defense on Bowles. Well, Bowles has scored a lot of points just because he really hasn't missed many shots. There's Shane Gibson into brother Sean. Simmons into Reinke. Reinke with the drop step off the glass, no good that time. Good shot, though. Knew what he wanted to do. Nice pass underneath. And Craig Martin stems the tide. IPFW been on a roll there. Got to get that ball in. Again, no pressure. That was so effective. Andre Walton. Oh, forced the pass a little there. And double teamed. Oh, 4-on-1 here now. Look out. Hebron misses the layup. Ronke with another rebound.
The Dons caught a break there. That could have been goaltending. One of the Dons players jumped up and rattled that backboard.
And a good timeout by Andy Piazza. His team getting a little out of control and perhaps a little leg weary right now. Don't you think?
Well, they don't look any more leg weary than the Screaming Eagles. Their pressure has been token pressure at best. And I don't think it's because it was designed that way. I think they're a little leg weary, as you stated.
Yeah, but the Dons were getting a little out of control there, forcing a couple of passes. When you're up by 9 or 10, you want to make sure you get a good shot every time down. We have plenty of things to remind you about here. And one thing we want to tell you is you too can join in the excitement of IPFW athletics by participating in the Royal Dons Club. The Royal Dons Club is the official booster club for all IPFW athletic teams. Members enjoy priority seating at all IPFW sporting events, food and refreshments in the hospitality room, admission to IPFW sports media luncheons, and association with other Mastodon supporters, just to name a few of the benefits. For information on becoming a member of the Royal Dons Club, call Lisa Moreland at 481-6027. You can also write to the Royal Dons Club, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, the zip code 46805. You know, Charlie, a lot of coaches don't like to take timeouts. I think that's a bad move. You can't carry them over to the next game or the next season.
Exactly. That's a great timeout by Coach Piazza. Usually you don't see coaches do that. You're up 9. You don't take the timeout, but Coach Piazza saw this tempo getting out of hand, saw the team getting out of control, so you take the timeout, calm your team down, and get a good shot on your next possession.
And I have a theory that I have shared with you before. Anytime I think when you're on the court, if you're about to go down 10, you take a timeout. And if you're up 10 and you're going to get under it, that's when you take the timeout too. And that's what Andy Piazza did. Now the Dons back up by 11. After Simmons makes the bucket, 68-57. It's that double-digit barrier you want to avoid both ways.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good barometer that teams key on.
Screaming Eagles working it inside. Here's Tate against Walton. Walton doesn't want to pick up his fourth. Tate gets the bucket. Quickly, a 2-on-1 for the Dons. Reinke all alone underneath. Gets hammered by Duran Hebron. I believe that's Hebron's fourth. Again, the Dons handling the pressure much better in the second half, moving it quickly and getting some easy shots. That is 4 on Hebron. There you see him just hammering Reinke. Reinke upset, thought he was going to get the dunkaroo.
Doug would have had a better chance at a three-point play if he doesn't bring the ball down. He was gathering that time for the dunk. Young players do not bring the basketball down.
That's right. You're making a very good point there for the children in the audience watching. Even some of the adults don't know how to do that.
In those industrial leagues.
Reinke hit his first free throw. Builds that lead back to 10. 69-59, 9:04 to go in half number 2. Reinke's second one is good. Reinke's got 6 points, I believe, this half. Dons by 11, 70-59, 9 minutes to go. Tate slicing through. Looking like a Division I guard on that one. Boy, he left everybody just standing there. Like they had the footprints for when you go dancing. 9-point lead for the Dons, 70-61, 8:40 to go. Andre Walton running the show. Looking inside to Doug Reinke against Bowles. Dishes out to Shane Gibson has been very quiet in the second half. Inside Andre Walton out to Reinke, passes up the jumper. 15 on the shot clock, saw Walton glance at it quickly. Now they're at 10. Shane Gibson with the jumper, no good. Sean falls down for a change, no call. Martin with the ball. Thought Jones was going to take the three, he doesn't. Here comes Tate, he'll try the three, not shy. Doesn't go, Reinke can't control it. And it goes out to the Screaming Eagles. 8 minutes to go in the ball game, Downs by 9. Driving inside, Taylor. And they're going to call a foul, I believe, on Doug Reinke, and that will be his fourth. 8 minutes to go, Charlie. The Dons only have 2 fouls to give at the center position. Because Reinke and Murphy both have 4. Can we see Sean Gibson playing a little center?
Could be.
I thought that foul was on Shane Gibson, actually.
That's a good drive that time by Taylor. Again, you take the ball to the hole, you keep going until somebody stops you.
First free throw is good. 17 fouls on the Dons now. So the Screaming Eagles will be in the one-on-one for the rest of the ball game. Second one by Taylor rattles out, and Sean Gibson pulls down the lead. Under 8 minutes to go, and Dons lead it by 8. Andre Walton against Tyrone Tate. Driving inside with the left hand. Andre gets it to go.
Great drive that time.
Dons by 10, and here comes Tate right back at him. Reinke forced him to change the shot, and he did not pick up foul number 5. Sean Gibson brings it up. Boy, Tate dogging Walton all over the court now.
And talking to him.
Every inch of that 94 feet. Walton inside dishes, and they're going to call a kick on number 40, Todd Jones. It's okay. Get a reset of the shot clock. 7:13 to go. Dons by 10, 72-62. A lot of emotion in this game, Charlie. You can really feel it tonight.
This is a huge game, as we stated at the outset of the game.
And now Shane Gibson asking the ref to get the room he is supposed to be allowed. I don't think from under there you got to give 3 feet. You just can't jump over the line. Ref looking for it. Reinke inside. Nice pass. Sean Gibson gets fouled by Scott Taylor. Good interior pass in there.
Great pass by Reinke.
Foul on 42, Scott Taylor. His third of the team's fifth. Sean Gibson will go on and shoot 2.
Third foul on Taylor, 5 on the Screaming Eagles. Sean Gibson at the line shooting a pair. You see the foul and the nice pass from Reinke. I believe that's 5 out of 6 for Sean tonight from the free throw.
Shooting well.
6 out of 7. I think he's only missed the 1. He can hit this one. The Dons will have their biggest lead of the game. Tie for their biggest lead, 11, 73-62, 7 minutes to go. Still a lot of time in this ball game. Bowles has been very quiet lately, makes that. Walton doesn't want to get trapped in that corner. Pearl calling off the press now. Dons by 9, 73-64.
That's why we're sitting up here, Randy. We thought the press was very effective.
Yep. So this half, IPFW's handled it much better. Sean Gibson held by number 40, Todd Jones. Don's ball out of bounds, but that's 6 fouls now on Southern Indiana. So both teams will be shooting the one-on-one for the rest of the ball game from now on. Though IPFW should be complaining about the technical foul, and the referee is asking about it right now. No. You know, I really think they've made a mistake here, Charlie. But Reinke underneath for 2. That's one the coaches have to point out. And we'll have to ask them about that later. Well, it didn't cost them there because the Dons get a bucket. 75-64, up by 11, 6:20 to go. Bowles, nice pass inside. Reinke just fouled out of the ball game.
After playing very well.
And that's not how you want to go out.
And John Honstrader jumps off the bench as if he's ready to go in. But he goes down and he's trying to pump Pat Murphy up.
Well, the Dons do have a 6'9" freshman, Chad North. out of Bishop Lewis, but I don't think we'll see him in the ball game tonight. I would think that they would put Sean Gibson in the middle and maybe go with Tony Martin up front.
Exactly.
And you can play Liebert up front, too. Here comes Pat Murphy, who also has 4 fouls in the game. Chad North, his nickname is Screech. You ever watch that show, Saved by the Bell? He looks like that Screech guy, except he's about 1.5 feet taller.
About the same weight, though.
Yeah. Free throw is good by Todd Jones. Cuts the lead to 10, 75-65. Zanny Piazza looking on. Assistant coach Dick Delaney. Jones hits them both. Lead is 9, 75-66, 6:19 to go. I look for the Dons to use a lot of clock every trip down now, Charlie. Maybe a minimum 20 seconds before they, unless they have a wide open shot.
That's what your better teams would do, utilize that clock.
Right now they've used 15. Shane Gibson from the corner, that one is blocked. And here comes Tate on the fast break. Nice pass to Jones, blocked by Gibson. And they call the foul on Scott Simmons from behind.
Foul number 23, Scott Simmons.
The Screaming Eagles screaming for the goaltend, but it's not there. Here you see it again on the fast break.
Good block.
Where
up
was
top.
the foul?
Well, they
Simmons
caught it
wasn't
down
near
low.
him.
They caught it down low on Simmons.
I don't know about that one. Another, as Carly Simon used to sing, anticipation. We're not talking about catch-up here. The lead is now 8, 75-67. Jones doing the job right now. Didn't you say he was a Ball State transfer?
Yes.
7-point lead. Under 6 minutes to go, 75-68. Dons could really use a bucket this time down. Very important. Shane Gibson drives the lane, dishes to Murphy. He'll take it back out to Sean Gibson. Andre Walton wide open, drives inside, dishes to Pat Murphy, misses the layup, but knocked out of bounds by Bowles. Couldn't have drawn that one up better, Charlie. They used about 30 seconds on the clock. Andre Walton drove and dished, and Murphy had an easy layup.
And the Screaming Eagles dodged a bullet that time.
Only good thing you could say about that is they used 30 or 35 seconds of the game clock. 42, Scott Taylor going out. Jeff Doyle, 32, back in for the Eagles.
I don't think Doyle can handle Sean Gibson down on the post.
Nope. But they don't have him on him. Uh-oh. Rough. Oh, boy, that was a bad inbounds pass by Shane Gibson. And Todd Jones sort of punched Sean Gibson in the mouth, inadvertent, because he doesn't want to draw a foul here and give Sean a couple of free throws. There you see it. Dons have gotten a break on a couple of bad passes tonight. Pat Murphy's in the first half that turned into a three-point play for Scott Simmons. Got to hit these free throws now. Gibson at the line for the 1-and-1. He's out tonight. 8-point lead again. Debron checks, or Hebron, excuse me. I want to call him Debron. Well, Deron Hebron would be Debron. Todd Jones goes out. Boy, and he's been scoring some points. Won't be sorry to see him on the bench for a few minutes. Sean Gibson hits them both. Dons back by 9, 77-68, 5:25 to go. Hebron into Bowles. Boy, that was perfect defense by Sean Gibson. Bowles just made a great shot. Simmons drives in, dishes it off to Sean, who drives against Bowles. No call, no harm, no foul. Sean again gets it to go in the foul. And that could be 4 on Bowles. Boy, I think on that first one, Charlie, Bowles and Gibson collided, and the refs didn't know who to call the foul on, so they just didn't call one. Here it is again.
Right there.
There was definitely contact there, and a lot of it. Sean stuck with it. He didn't hear the whistle. That's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
And he put it back in, and on one where he hardly got touched, he draws the foul, and now he has a chance for a three-point play.
Whereas on the other hand, the Southern Indiana players kind of gave up on that.
Yep. There you see it again. No question there was a foul there. And that time didn't look like anything. They changed the foul. They call it on 45, Jerron Hebron, so he's gone, so I don't have to call him Debron for the rest of the night. So Bowles still has 3. And Gibson has a 3-point play, and the Dons have a 10-point lead. A lot of halves here. 5 minutes to go. Dons by 10, 80-70. Things looking a lot better than they were about 40 seconds ago. 5 points will do that for you. And there's a horrible pass by Jones. Gibson picks it off. Pull it out, Sean. And they are going to call. We don't see a call yet.
The Dons caught a break. They caught a block.
Oh, now. That's what happens when you're the hometown All-American candidate, Charlie.
A little home cooking right there, Randy.
And Gibson is putting on the limb for us, though, to make it look like he did get hurt. Gibson at the line, 1-1. 19 fouls on both teams now, so everything's going to be at least a 2-shot foul after this for both squads. Sean misses the first. They called that a 2-shot foul, too. Talk about getting the breaks. Ref's checking here. Is that supposed to be a one-on-one, they're asking now? Now they're saying that was supposed to be a one-on-one, and he already missed it, and Southern Indiana got the rebound. I'm telling you, this is when we need that Three Stooges song, the Three Blind Mice. Yes. Now, actually, the refs have been okay tonight. We won't call them Mo, Larry, and Curly.
No,
I swear.
We won't do that. How about those ducks?
What are they doing here? Nobody can figure out what is going on. 2-shot foul, one-on-one. Andy Piazza wants it to be a 2-shot foul. And now they say, we don't know. They need to get these refs microphones like in the NFL.
Yeah, that would be nice.
There you go, see? Simple problem, no, hard problem, simple solution.
Leave it to you. Hey, leave it to you to find a simple solution for the tough,
what the heck, make it a 2. He misses anyways, all that for nothing. Good way to ice Sean at the free throw line. 4:40 to go, Dons by 10, 80-70. That's a missed opportunity, though. Got to cash in on those free throws at the end of the game. We were talking about that very early. That could be the difference, Charlie. Tate with the pass inside. Sean Gibson steals it, and Andre Walton comes up with it.
Great play by Gibson.
He dove. He dove on the floor, stretched out like a wide receiver in football. And they get a big round of applause. Sean getting the crowd into this game for sure, for sure.
And Sean, I think, has snatched the Dandy Don honors from right under the nose
and
of
now
Andre
we got a
Walton.
5-second call. Andre Walton. So that's a turnover. 4:10 to go. Dons by 10, 80-70. Tate with the ball. Martin moving inside against Pat Murphy. Murphy can't afford that 5th foul. Tip no good. Knocked all around. They say the ball hit out of bounds.
Touch of Martin out of bounds.
Ball.
And I think we're going to get a solution, or at least an explanation of that very confusing play from our tireless producer, Greg Smith.
No, we still need our tireless producer to go down and tell the people at the scorer's table that a technical foul now counts as a team foul in college basketball. And there goes another technical. This one off Bruce Pearl. And he's getting awfully close to being thrown. He's giving the referees a choke sign. And the Southern Indiana fans here love it.
Was that first technical foul on here or Bowles?
Was on Bowles.
Okay.
But I think if they didn't toss Pearl, they're awfully close right now. And the Southern Indiana fans are loving it. They haven't had much to cheer about lately. Simmons will try these technicals. Hits the first. Second one by Simmons is good. Dons have their biggest lead of the game, 12 points with under 4 minutes to go. We are getting quite the Southern Indiana sub tried to enter before the scorekeeper made him official. The discussion was just an explanation about that ruling. And Pearl has been tossed. He has nothing against Andy Piazza. They shake hands. And there he goes. I don't think he wants to see the end of this ball game. I wonder if we can get locker room cam. Dons get the ball in. Scott Simmons pushed by Bowles in the back. No call. And now we get the call on Tate. And this game's starting to get a little out of control here, Mr. Washington.
And the referees have to keep things under control. They're trying. They're doing the best they can, but we're on the brink. We're on the brink of chaos right now.
And 10 team fouls, of course, on the Screaming Eagles, who are screaming now. So it'll be 2 shots for Simmons. Timeout on the court. Dons lead it by 12, 82-70. 3:45 to go, but we should not put this one in the left-hand column yet, should we?
No, again, as we stated at the outset of the game, all those three-point shooters that the Screaming Eagles have.
But they haven't been taking them tonight. Hey, Channel 6 is now accepting applications for underwriting the televising of its IPFW sports events and other programs. For more information about how your business or organization can utilize this great opportunity, please call the Channel 6 office during business hours at 481-6582. That number again is 461-6582. Give us a call, give us a hand. We would appreciate
481-6582.
481, that's what I didn't say. I said 461.
Yes.
I know.
That's Lincoln National. You have them calling Lincoln National.
I was just checking to see if you were paying attention, and darn it, you passed the test.
Hey, thank you. 481-6582 is that number.
Okay. You can look it up in the phone book as well. Call information. There are a lot of ways to get it. Or call us here. We'll give it to you. I guess if you call us here, you'll have it. Let's get back to the game. Charlie, Dons by 12. Not a good time to be overly confident, though. Correct, sir?
No, not at all. You have to nail these 2 free throws right here. Free throws very important. The Dons only shooting 62% for the season. Have to nail these free throws to keep this game in control. Because that's where you're going to be for the rest of the game.
Well, they got Scott Simmons at the line, who just switched a couple on the technical. Also have to remember to play tough D, I think, on the three-point shot now. You don't want to foul them, but you want to be on them. You can't give up the uncontested three-pointers.
Exactly.
And you have to keep trying to score when you have the ball. Simmons' first one is good. I don't think he minds being at the free throw line. .13-point lead now, biggest of the ball game. 14-point lead. 3:40 to go. Ooh, Tate almost with the carry.
One more dribble and he may have had it.
Bowles inside. Doesn't get the bucket, but he draws the foul from Sean Gibson. It's only Sean's first, though. He does get those All-American calls. There you see the foul. No complaint. Bowles has really had a good second half. But in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the second half, if it weren't for Bowles, this game would have been a blowout.
Exactly.
Yeah, I believe 12 points in the first 7 minutes of the second half.
You'll end up with a ton of points, but outside of those, again, they weren't very huge points, but like you said, he did keep them in the game initially in the second half.
Dons get the ball in, leading by 12, 84-72, under 3.5 to go. It's crunch time. Andre Walton doesn't want to get another 5-second violation. Pat Murphy outside to help. Sean Gibson outside to help. Still plenty of time on the shot clock, 25 seconds. Shane Gibson
near steal.
Keeps it over to Sean. He's not going to fire up the three. He'll drive the lane. Draws the foul and throws it up. Might have got a little break there, too.
Yeah, Sean didn't really have anything to do with that.
He thought he got fouled before they blew the whistle. We see it again. That's awfully close. Bowles complaining again. He now has 4 fouls. Sean at the line shooting 2. 3:06 to go. Dons by 12. First one short. Sean suddenly going cold from the free throw line. That's 3 or 4 misses in a row. Second one's good. 13-point lead. 3 minutes to go. Tate inside, hits the jumper. 11-point lead. Pat Murphy in quickly to Shane Gibson. Back to Andre Walton. Take your time, fellas. Time to pass it around the perimeter. Sean Gibson up top. Don't want to get a 5-second call here. Over to Pat Murphy. Now Simmons cuts up. 20 on the shot clock. Walton will start the offense any second.
Great patience.
Great pass. Sean Gibson, Andre Walton. That was a Magic Johnson kind of pass. 13-point lead. Foul on Simmons there. Before Martin can get off the shot. That actually could be a break because he would have had the wide open 3. What? What are you asking me?
He's asking me Dandy Don player of the game.
Oh, Dandy Don player of the game. Charlie and I have a little disagreement. But the producer, Greg Schmitz, once again sides with the correct guy, and that would be me, of course. Martin only hits 1 out of 2 from the free throw line. Dons by 12, 87-75. The Dandy Don player of the game was between Sean Gibson and Andre Walton. Whom would you choose at home? We'll let you in on our choices in another minute or so. 2:04 to go. Dons by 12, 33 on the shot clock. 87-75 your score. Shane Gibson got to get the ball in. Does to Andre Walton. Dribbles out of trouble, knocked out of bounds, stays with the Dons. 31 on the shot clock.
Taking nothing away from Pat Murphy and John Honschreider, Randy, but do you know who the second best post player on the Dons team may be?
Andre Walton.
Exactly. Taking nothing away from those two players.
Do I win a prize? No, he's so strong. Again, folks, you got to get out here and see this team play and see this guy. Andre Walton, what do they list Andre at? 5'8"? That's being generous. 175 pounds, though. Not a lot of fat on the man. Andre at the line right now. He got fouled by Tate. 3 on Tate. Walton at the line shooting 2. Earlier, Charlie, you alluded to the fact when you have 10 team fouls, you get 2 shots, and they thought it would speed up the game because you see the 10th foul here. This is what they didn't think would happen. If you give up 2 free throws, you won't foul. Well, horse feathers, as Colonel Sherman T. Potter used to say on MASH. It hasn't helped. Teams still foul a lot. Remember what he used to say? Horse feathers.
Yeah.
Slinger?
Or horse pucky.
Yeah. Walton hits 1. Okay, I'm letting everybody in on the secret now. Andre Walton is our Dandy Don player of the game. He got the 2 votes from myself and producer Greg Schmitz. Charlie went with Sean Gibson. Wouldn't have been a bad choice either. I just like Walton because his passing was superb tonight. He got a lot of rebounds. He went inside. He drove. Nothing else he could do. Craig Martin with the bucket, cuts the lead back to 12, but we're at 140. Dons lead at 89-77, and I think it's time to wrap this one up. Red Auerbach would be lighting up the cigar about right now. Speaking of Red Auerbach, you know they're having a retirement ceremony for Larry Bird's jersey tonight, number 33, and there's not even a game. Because Bird is so popular, they couldn't just do it in 10 minutes at halftime of a game. They sold out the Boston Garden for this tonight. They had to turn down ticket requests.
That's what 13 or 14 years of loyal service, and not only loyal service.
Great service. I mean, you know, you could argue about who's the best player of all time. I don't think you can ever pick one player to be the best of all time, but I'll tell you what, the old saying goes, if Larry Bird wasn't at the head of the class, it sure doesn't take long to call the roll.
Exactly.
He was as good as anyone who's ever played the game. Other people who I'd put in that class, Magic Johnson, unquestionably Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, John Havlicek, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, Oscar Robertson. I mean, just you can find as good, you'll never find better, and those guys would have been good in any era. Three-pointer there by number 32, Jeff Doyle, cuts the lead to 10 with a minute 20 to go, 90 to 80. I still think the Don's feeling pretty secure about right now, Charlie, but what does Andy Piazza say to him in the huddle when you're up 10 with 120?
There's a three-point arc still out there. Play good defense, but run the clock on offense. They're going to foul you. Be strong with the basketball, just like you tell a football team. Don't fumble. This is what you're basically telling the Dons.
Again, we talked about the rule with the 2 free throws at the end of the ball game. They thought it was speeded up. And I've said this before, too. You know this. The rule that I would like to see enacted would have been right here. After you make a basket, the team that makes the basket should not be allowed to call timeout because that team does not have possession of the ball. When you make the basket, the possession goes to the other team. And if you didn't let teams call timeout at the end of the game like this, that would really speed things up.
I think we should be part of the NCAA rule committee.
If they made me the commissioner of the NCAA for one day,
you clear all this up, right?
It would be nirvana. Just too many archaic rules in the NCAA. Not only on the court, most of the archaic rules are off the court. Some of the fans feeling secure. They're heading for the exits here. Either that or the babysitter's got to leave and people have to go. That happens sometimes as well.
No, they're trying to beat that rush out of the parking lot, right?
The game's running a little late tonight. We're usually done about 10 o'clock. Here's the play we were talking about earlier where you get a little help inbounds. Sean Gibson fouled in the backcourt.
Do we know Coach Piazza or what?
Yeah, I know him. I don't know about you. This is getting scary. We know what he's doing. They call the foul on number 40. Todd Jones, his fourth. A lot of guys with 4 out there. Tell you, Pat Murphy at about the 8-minute mark came in to replace Doug Reinke when he fouled out, and he has not picked up his 5th foul. So good playing by Pat. Sean Gibson just gets that one to sort of like a slinky toy over the front of the rim.
Again, for you young players, that was ball rotation. The ball rotated, caught onto that rim, and then the rotation carried that basketball into the basket.
But not that one. He's shooting a little bit of a line drive. A little tired now. Tate dishes out to Martin. Simmons got away with a bump. Rebound to Sean Gibson. Down court, wide open is Pat Murphy, who gets hammered by Todd Jones. That was just a plain old stupid foul by Jones. No offense, Todd, but a little frustration there too, I think.
I thought Pat was going to punch that one.
Yeah, if there were nobody around, he would have, but if he had time to measure it. Dan's up by 13 with 1:03 to go. Cha-ching. Dan's right back in the thick of it. They had to do it. They came out here tonight knowing they had to win this ball game. They have a chance to win the title this year in the GLVC. And you know, they are right in it. Look at the replay here. Sean Gibson knew he had the 2 guys. Simmons to Murphy. Murphy right in for the layup.
And the fans, Randy, here at the Gate Center are doing the wave.
Well, you know, nobody's perfect. Tate outside for 3, no good. There's Shane Gibson with the rebound. I'm surprised Southern Indiana's fouling now. This one's over. Surprised they don't want to just get out of here. I think we're going to see Shane Gibson going to the line now. There's the 3-point attempt by Tate. No good. All down. 4 guys there to grab the rebound. Got to like that if you're Coach Piazza. I could have swore it said Kevin Shank shooting that free throw. Super. Shane hits the first. Hits them both. Dons by 15, biggest lead of the ball game. 50 seconds to go. 95-80. It's all over except for the final score. Tate pulls up, wasting a little time. Martin in the corner. Aldridge for 3, good. And they call a timeout. Well, you know, the regular coach, Pearl's been thrown out of the game, so the assistant's getting his feet wet, I guess, as being a real coach. Lead 12 now, 95-83, 41 ticks of the clock remaining. Okay, Charlie, they've made it through Southern Indiana, but the Dons have beaten the Screaming Eagles before. The watershed game is Saturday night. The Kentucky Wesleyan, a team that's won the national title a few times. Even if they're not first in the conference, though they should be tied for first after tonight, they're still the team to beat year in and year out. 0-18 in IPFW's history against Kentucky Wesleyan. Could this be the time?
Yes, and probably what you won't see after this basketball game, Randy, is a lot of celebration. The Dons know there's still work to do. This is a big win, but there won't be a celebration because there's work to do Saturday night. Then you might see a celebration after a win, big win on Saturday night. But what you have to watch for there is not to let that be your season. It's a big game, but
if
you can't
you can
let it
win
be your
that
season.
ball game
Yes.
as well, then the inevitable letdown that could come after.
Exactly.
Very good point. Very good point.
Get a first-hand look at the IPFW cheerleaders there and fans. And is that Alicia, former sports information director
with her newest child. She has 2 now. Oh, look at Sean Gibson. Good night. Where's the defense? Oh, look at Sean.
The emphatic ending.
I think we can call that the exclamation point. There's Bowles with one right back. And a nice alley-oop. But as they say in court, the point is moot. And there's just... Now, are they going to call that an intentional foul? He reaches out and grabs him on the arm. Let's see what the ref calls it. No, that's not an intentional foul.
And there's a case that maybe the referee shouldn't even call that foul. Let the 13 seconds.
The only problem is if you don't call that foul, there's a chance that a fight could break out.
Yes, exactly.
So
good point.
The refs still have to have somewhat of a semblance of order on the court. Dons lead it by 12, 97-85. Could get the century mark, awfully close. Aren't there free hamburgers or something if they hit 100?
I'm sure one of the local restaurants have some types of deals here.
Maybe somebody can rally behind that. Hint, hint. Screech is coming in the ball game. Sean's feeling good right now, but boy, when he finds out he's not the Dandy Don player of the game, woo, that steam's going to be rising.
He asked me the last time, what did he have to do to get back up there?
Yeah. If you want, we can have them both, and we can have a 1 and a 1A.
Here's our producer right now. I say Sean Gibson also.
Can you just read through?
Andre Walton, the official Dandy Don player of the game, taking a seat right now, though I think Charlie has convinced Greg Schmitz to make it a Dandy Don player of the game. We're under 10 seconds, 99-85. We may not get the 100. Lane with the 3. And there's another bucket by Aldridge, and that's the ball game, 99-87. Dons win it by 12. They are now in second place in the GLVC, possibly third if Kentucky Wesleyan won tonight. Dons move to 7-3 in the conference. Southern Indiana drops to 8-2. Of course, the big game is coming up this Saturday night. Love for you to get out here when Kentucky Wesleyan comes to town. The Dons will be looking for their first ever win against Kentucky Wesleyan. Charlie, I know that's something you want to see.
A lot of people, in addition to me, would love to see the Dons break that 0-18 streak. And again,
well, that's an 0 forever streak.
Yes.
And we'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Color, space, line, form. These basic elements have been used by painters, sculptors, and architects to create artworks of timeless beauty and value. The Art of the Western World television course examines many of mankind's most enduring achievements and provides you with the key to the language of art.
Fires come from?
Tonight, Dolores had a few drinks, did some crack, and ended up another tragic story. Only she doesn't know it yet. Drugs make you forget. And if you forget how risky sex can be, you could catch the AIDS virus and not know it for months, even years. AIDS, another way drugs can kill.
There was a time many people thought that economics had very little to do with everyday life. Today, it seems there's very little in everyday life that does not have to do with economics. Enroll in the Economics USA telecourse. It's an education for life.
Tony had some drinks, a few joints, and got into a fatal accident tonight. Only he doesn't know it yet. Drugs make you forget. And if you forget how risky sex can be, you could catch the AIDS virus and not know it for months, even years. AIDS, another way drugs can kill.
That's kind of funky.
All right, we at IPFW are pleased to be able to bring you the cablecast of NCAA athletic competition. We hope you've enjoyed the show and excitement of intercollegiate sports from IPFW. To provide such programs, we need your support. With the help of many volunteers, we are able to produce these programs at a relatively low cost. Your contribution will help defray the production costs not covered by the Channel 6 budget. The College Cable Access Center invites you to invest in quality college programming by sending your contribution to Channel 6 and IPFW, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard, East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805. Please make your check out to Indiana Purdue Foundation at Fort Wayne and designate it for College Cable Access Athletics. The College Cable Access Program Guide provides information about our programming, including IPFW sports telecasts. To receive your free Channel 6 program guide, send your name, address, and zip code to Channel 6 at IPFW, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard, East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805. We're going to go down to the floor to Charlie now with our Dandy Don players of the game.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I coaxed it out of our producer, Greg Smith. We have our co-Dandy Don players of the game, Sean Gibson and Andre Walton. This is the starter, and this is the finisher on a lot of IPFW baskets, the leading scorer in the GLVC, the leader in assists. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about what happened tonight and how big this game is to you going into Saturday's bigger game against the Kentucky Wesleyan?
Well, this game was real big, man. It was either make us or break us. If we would have lost this game, we could have kind of like counted our season over with.
Sean.
I don't know if Saturday's game was any bigger. This team, I don't know if anyone realizes, was the team leading conference. They only had one loss coming in. And this game for us just isn't a victory. It's a confidence level our team needed, I think, to just go to the next level.
What about, to look a little bit ahead, Wesleyan on Saturday, what do you have to do and what happens? We've been so close to this team so many times, and I saw that last second shot a few weeks ago. What do we have to do to beat that team?
Play hard. We had them down at their place. We had them beat down there, and we just did some things in the last 4, 5, 6 minutes, turned the ball over, and just kind of gave that game away. But up here, we're undefeated at home. This is our place. We're just going to play even harder and see what we can do.
And we've talked about this, Randy and I, on the show tonight. We have in our guesstimation, the best 2 post players on the team. Andre, you want to tell us a little bit about what makes you so tough down there on the block?
It's determination and heart and my strength. You know, that helps me out a lot. I mean, a lot of teams don't. I mean, a lot of players don't expect me to go down there, but with my determination, you know, they get lax and I get the ball and I go for it.
You're one of the best offensive rebounders I've seen from the point guard position, but I never see you get caught going to the glass and the other team getting back and getting easy buckets. You do a great job on that.
Well,
would that be because of defensive rotation?
Oh yeah, defensive rotation. Defensive rotation helps a lot.
Okay. Well, I'll let you guys get down and celebrate and get ready. Don't celebrate too much. We still got a big one to go on Saturday. Congratulations, and let's go get them.
Thanks.
All right, thanks a lot, Charlie. This college cable access sports presentation is underwritten in part by a grant from Cable Access Incorporated of Fort Wayne, Indiana. We'd like to take this time to thank the Channel 6 volunteer crew and the Learning Resource Center at IPFW for their contributions to the live production of our basketball games this evening. This college cable access sports presentation is underwritten in part by a grant from College Access Incorporated of Fort Wayne, Indiana. The telecast of this IPFW sporting event is copyrighted and the sole property of the College Cable Access Center and IPFW. Unauthorized copying, exhibition, or retransmission, rebroadcast, or any other use of this event without express written consent is strictly prohibited. Don't forget to tune in to Channel 6 this Saturday evening at 6 and 8 to see the Panthers from Kentucky Wesleyan University take on IPFW. For Randy Schiffman and Charlie Washington, I'm Eric Agnew. Goodbye for now.